Hey, welcome everybody to our presentation of a 1982 October, let's see, October 3rd, 1982. It's the last game of the season between the Milwaukee Brewers and the Baltimore Orioles. Now, the Milwaukee Brewers won the division by one game and had Baltimore won this game. They actually played a four-game series, the last four games of the season, and Baltimore won three, but they needed to win this one to end in a tie and force a one-game sudden death, if you will, wild card playoff game. So we're replaying that one game to see if Baltimore can come on top and then tie Milwaukee and then go to that one-game playoff. Now, for the we're using actual lineups and starting off, and we're using APBA, and we're using APBA Basic. And you're going to see, I mean, it's rather abstracted, with particularly with the pitching mechanics. So we're just playing it the way it is now. It's going to be, the pitching matchups are actual pitching matchups for that day. Don Sutton, who came over from the Dodgers and had 7 starts with the Brewers, is starting. And for Baltimore, it's Jim Palmer, who had a pretty good season. Both pitchers are Bs. Both pitchers have Zs. That means that their walks are somewhat limited. And there's a little strikeout advantage with Don Sutton because he has a Y. So those grades do make a difference when playing this game. So this is, we're going to see how, the book is around here somewhere. I hope I don't have to really look too far for it. Here it is. Okay, good. Oh no, that's another book for another game. There it is. Okay, great. And then we're may have to use the hit and run booklet as well. But this is what the book looked like here. Bases loaded, different situations. This is how you, bases empty, this is the one you normally look at. And then you look at runner on second, runner on first, runner on third. You got to do a lot of flipping pages, which really I don't really enjoy to do at all. But luckily I know this a little bit by heart because this was my first game ever. And I used to lock myself away in the room for days and days and fill up notebooks with games that I would play. And I had a crazy adventure, or a misadventure, if you will, when I followed that classic yellow roster sheet, and I wanted to replay the Yankees. I was living in Queens, New York at the time, and I wanted to replay the Yankee season. I was replaying, I believe, the 76 Yankee season. This was in summer of 77. And I started just so in other words, I think I had Baseball Digest and the schedule from Baseball Digest. I believe they printed it in there. So I would use the actual schedule. But what I would do is I would grab the top 3 pitchers from the team we were going to face. Let's say we had a 3-game series with the Brewers, so my Yankees would face the top 3 pitchers in 76 for the Brewers. And then the next series, if it was against Baltimore, the top 3 pitchers on that roster sheet. Well, what I didn't know is I was always choosing the top 3 pitchers were usually the best pitchers because they were the pitchers that pitched the most and they were the aces. So the Yankees had a very, very low batting average. And I couldn't understand why, and I kept on reading the advertisements, and it said this was realistic, but everybody was batting, 50 to 100 points lower than they actually batted. I could not understand it. And it took me a while to figure out that after I really learned the game, that what I needed to do was basically shuffle the starters and just pick them, because I didn't have access to the actual starters in that day. So I was just kind of randomly picking starters, not using the roster sheet, the top players on that, the top pitchers all the time. So after we went through one round, I just couldn't understand it, why every game was really a low-scoring affair and the Yankees would not get any hits. So anyway, that was my mishap, and now I know not to do that. And maybe that's why I'm so stuck on playing actual lineups, because I didn't have access to that at that time. So let's start off. Let's start this game. It's going to go pretty quick, so I had a little time to chit-chat with you. It's going to be Paul Molitor playing third base, leading off. Robin Yount, both fast. Tito is his nickname. I love these cards because it tells you where they're from. Gives you an idea of how they grew up. Molitor is from Minnesota, so he grew up in the cold. And that goes to show you don't have to play a lot to be a great player. You have it, either you have it or you don't. Danville, Illinois, another cold town player, Robin Yount. But Cecil Cooper is from Brenham, Texas. He's batting third, playing first base. The catcher, Simmons, he's from Michigan. South Carolinian James Gorman Thomas, the Perchman. He's a center fielder. This is interesting. A 3 center fielder who's slow. Total silence. Okay. Let's move on. Batting seventh is Roy Lee Howell. He's a DH. Bats lefty. I don't have stats. These cards don't have stats or the actual cards. Charlie Moore is in right field. He's also a catcher. I know him as a catcher, but he began to play right field. Ogilvy should have been fifth. Wait a second. Let's stick in there. Let's see. And Romero is the second baseman, batting seventh. So let's do that again. Yount, Cooper, Simmons, Ogilvy, Thomas. There you go. And Howell, Moore, and Romero. And let's get started. And the way you roll it, APBA, the large one gets counted. That's a 44 from Molitor against Palmer. Here's the pitch from Palmer. Sets and deals. Molitor lines one to center field. Base hit for Paul Molitor. Leads off with a single. Now we're doing old school. We're going old school with the score sheet, the paper and pencil score sheet. So Molitor is on at first. And in APBA, you actually roll, and it tells you if you stole a base or not. So you don't actually go. That's a 22. And on Yount's card, that's good. That's a 6. Molitor, I know, is fast, so with a runner on first against a B pitcher, and I don't think that makes a difference. Double over first, F scores. So that's a ball that's driven into the gap, and that's going to roll to the wall. Hustling after it is Bumbry. Gets it in quickly. They're waving Molitor around. He's going to score without a throw, and into second is Yount with an RBI double. So the Brew crew take a 1-0 lead very early in the game. So that's another thing about APBA. It doesn't have an effect. There's no effect. I mean, the pitcher doesn't really affect extra base hits. That's one thing I don't totally agree with. Oh boy, that's a deep drive. Cecil Cooper got a hold of one. Deep drive to right field. Back goes Dwyer to the track, to the wall, looks up. That's out of here. 3-0 Brew Crew. First 3 batters get hits and score. 2-run home run by Cecil Cooper. So we start the game by rolling a 44, a 22, and a 66. And in APBA, doubles are deadly. 3-0 Brewers, and still nobody out here in the top of the first. Remember, Baltimore has to win this game to force a wild card playoff game. And stepping into the box, it's going to be the catcher, ex-card, Simmons. Don't know what we did with him. All right, here's the pitch. And that's a 23. It's going to be a ground ball. Second baseman, Dower is there. Over to first. 1 away. Ben Ogilvy now. Here's our tower, our stealth tower, 52. 52 is a 27. That's a 2-hopper to the third baseman, Gulliver. Across the diamond, 2 away. Interesting inning. Oh. And that's Snake Eyes. That's a deep drive. Gorman Thomas steps in the box. And here's the pitch. That's a deep drive to left field. That's way out of here. And it's a 4-0 Brewer lead. So, you know, I think Palmer wishes he had a lot of pitches back today. Gorman Thomas gets a hold of one. 4-0 Brews. 2 outs in the top of the first inning. And that's a 55. It's Roy Lee Howell. And that's an 8. Now, I usually play something called pitcher reduction. And I think it's 5 runs. If he gives up 5 runs within 3 innings, he drops a grade. And it's called a pitcher reduction special rule. Haven't seen that yet. Here it is. Okay, earn run. Let's see, pitcher reduction. Grade reduction. All right. Yeah, every 5 earned runs within 3 consecutive innings, his grade drops by 1. Okay. So now it's Roy Lee Howell. And that's a 55. That's an 8. It's going to be a fly ball center field. And that retires the side. But not before the Brews pick up 4 big runs on a single, a double, and 2 home runs, and they lead at 4-0. What do you mean? You want to go out? Huh? What do you want? I'm back. I'm sorry. All right, it's Al Bumbry who's going to be leading it off. Al Bumbry, he's a bats lefty, center fielder. Not a very good center fielder. That's a 23. It's a ground ball second base. And Romero up with it, throws out Bumbry, gets him by half a step. 23 again, another ground ball. Second baseman Romero, 2 away. That's Glenn Gulliver. Third baseman, now it's Kenny Singleton. He's a modern day announcer for the Yankees. And that's a 33. That's going to be, let's see what's going to be at second column. So we got a row. No, we have 51. That's a deep drive. He's swinging from both these pitchers are right-handers, so he's swinging from the left side, deep drive to right field. Back goes the right fielder Moore to the track, to the wall, looks up, it's out of here. 4-1. So Singleton gets 1 run back for the O's. And he's from he's from New York, New York. Kenny Singleton. That's interesting. I like that about these cards. They have a lot of personality. I mean, Eddie Murray's nickname is Tired. All right. It's a 15. That's going to be a 10. It's a ball that's grounded through the middle and into center field for a base hit. I do not think a B is going to stop that. With nobody. Now, single to center. So Eddie Murray's on with a single, 2-out single. And it's John Lowenstein, lefty. He's got good power on his card. He's got a 1 at 11, a 1 at 66. He's got a 4 at 33 and a 6 at 22. So he must have had a heck of a year. And that's a 45. You see, this is where the Z comes into play. So that's going to be ball 2. If we roll it again, then he walks. 32. And this is going to be a 12. 32 is a, oh wait, no, 32 is a, oh yeah, it is a 12. 32 is a 12. And fielding, it's fielding column 1 for the Brewers. So a 12 is a ground ball, second base. Flips to the shortstop. Yount covering. And that's a force out, retires aside. But not before the Orioles get 1 run on 2 hits. And it's a 4-1 game going to the top of the second. It's going to be Moore, Charlie Moore, the right fielder, leading it off. It's a 43, it's a 29, it's a comebacker. Comebacker right back to Palmer. One away. Next is Romero. Romero's a right-handed batter. He's a versatile guy. Plays second base, shortstop, third base, outfield. Well, does all that. And this is going to be a 21. Now this is where you get the fielding coming into play. 21. Now the Orioles are a fielding 2. A 21. It's going to be a ground ball, and it's booted by the first baseman, Murray. So it's going to be E3. And Romero's on at first on the error by Murray. That's a 46. That's going to be a strikeout. Route number 2. So Molitor down swinging. And Robin Yount. 25. That's a 10. And a 10 is going to be with a runner on base. Ground ball, third base. And that's Gulliver. Fires to first. And that retires aside. We go to bottom half of the second inning. Scores 4-1 Brewers. These are the classic actual cards from that period. 12 at 32. And it's going to be Dwyer, Jim Dwyer, lefty outfielder, leading it off. Here's the pitch from Sutton, 66. That's a deep drive to right field. Back goes Moore to the track, to the wall, looks up. It's out of here. Home run. 4-2 game now. Dwyer connects. And I know that Sutton wishes he had that pitch back. Here's the pitch to Ripken. Oh, foul ball. Let's re-roll that. Say 35 to Ripken. It's a 39. It's going to be a foul ball. Snake eyes. You're going to have to roll for a second column. Oh, 22. That's a deep drive to left field. Back goes the left fielder Ogilvy to the track, to the wall. That's out of here. 4-3. My goodness. Cal Ripken got a hold of one there. And next up is going to be Dempsey, John Dempsey, the catcher. 4-3 ball game here. 61. It's a chop it is short. Up with it is Yount over to first, and that's the first out. Dower, Rich Dower, second baseman, light hitting second baseman. Seems that they had a pretty good season in '82 though. 24. It's gonna be fly ball, deep center field. Back goes the center fielder Thomas. It's a nice running catch. Thomas. Very unusual with a slow speed, but plays center field. And he's a 3 center fielder. So explain that to me, I don't know. Has no speed. I guess he doesn't score a lot of runs, maybe. 26 to Bumbry. Bumbry's 0 for 1, he grounded out. This time he flies out shallow right. In comes Moore, makes the catch, and that retires the side. But not before. 2 big runs on 2 home runs, one by Dwyer and one by Ripken. And the Orioles are within 1 run. Leading it off is going to be Cecil Cooper. Cooper hit a 2-run shot. He's a left-handed batter. Pitch from Palmer. It's a 55. That's going to be a line drive base hit to right. Getting it in quickly is Dwyer. And it's Ted Simmons. Snake eyes. And if Cooper's F, he's going to score. Otherwise, he's going to be held up at third. It's a double into the gap. And Simmons is in with a stand-up double. Second and third now. So 1 more run here, and Palmer's going to drop a grade, which is definitely not what you want, because this is a key game here. If the Orioles, this is the last game of the season for both these teams. The Brewers are 1 game ahead of the Orioles, so if the Orioles win here, they'll be tied and they'll go into a 1-game playoff. Now, I hope that, you know what, it's probably really annoying. I'm stopping the AC because it's blowing right by the camera, and I think it was probably making you guys very uncomfortable. All right, so second and third, Ben Ogilvy, and we're going to walk Ogilvy intentionally. Intentional walk to load the bases. That way we can bring the infield in against, and with APBA you got to roll. So when you walk somebody, you roll, see what would have happened. Oh, 55, okay. Somebody would have scored there for sure. All right, let's hope we can get out of this now. Here's Gorman Thomas, infield in. Now our second baseman, Dower, I have him as, I have the wrong number here for Dower. I just realized that. I looked at his third base number, and he's playing second base. So he's an 8 at second base. So we're at 40 instead of a 37. So that's an 8. So that's a pretty good second baseman. Now with the bases loaded, let's look at what that looks like here. Bases loaded. And an 8 would be at the top. He would be fielding 1 column. So a 26, we rolled a 30, oh no, 32 is a 12, right? 32 on Thomas is a 12. So that means we have to go to fielding B. Infield in, runner out at home. Batter safe at first, 6-2. It's a fielder's choice. And out at home, 4-2. Fielder's choice. Bases are still loaded now. So it's Simmons at third, Ogilvy at second, and Thomas at first. And it's going to be Howell. We're going to have to keep that infield in to prevent Palmer from dropping a grade. Roy Howell, the infield in, bases loaded, 1 out, top of the third. It's a 4-3 ball game. The Brewers are up. Roy Lee Howell bats lefty. It's a DH today. Here's the pitch. 56. It's a 13 strikeout. Wow. Right, just what the doctor ordered. Out number 2. Now we can put the infield plays regular depth. That's going to be Charlie Moore. See if we can get through Charlie Moore. So they had bases loaded, nobody out. Now there's 2 outs. So Palmer's really pitching out of a jam. Here's the pitch. Ooh, 66. That's not what we wanted. Oh my goodness. Look what we rolled. And you can see that right there. Wow. All right, that's baseball, right? That's baseball. Let's see what happens here. 52. That's going to be a single. Let's see what it says here. With the bases loaded. Bases loaded, B pitcher, which he's not going to be any longer. Single over second, 2 runners score, other to second, F to third. So if Thomas is an F, which he is not, he's going to stop at second base. So it's a Two out single for Charlie Moore, who was 0 for 1. This is huge for the Brew Crew. Scoring is Simmons, followed by Ogilvy, and stopping at second is Thomas. First and second now. And this is going to see Palmer drop from a B to a C now. It's a C pitcher. First and third, and it's Romero. Eddie Romero. Eddie Romero, he reached on an error in the top of the second. Here's a pitch. 26, that's a fly ball, shallow left field. In comes Lowenstein, he's there. And that retires aside. But the Brewers pick up 2 runs on 1, 2, 3 hits. And they lead it now by a score of 6-3. Got the bottom half of the third inning. It's Glenn Gulliver, which be honest, I know nothing about him. I haven't really heard about him very much. 26. It's going to be a fly ball left field. Right there is Ogilvy. Puts it away. Stepping in the box is Singleton. He homered in his first at bat. It's a 26, grounded it short. Yount fires the first, 2 away. And it's Eddie Clarence Murray, Los Angeles, California. Switch hitter, I remember that. It's a 14, fly ball, left field. A couple steps to his left is Ogilvy, and he puts that away. 3 up, 3 down. Go to the top of the fourth, 6-3. Brewers. Palmer's still in there, even though he's allowed 5 runs here. See what happens. Paul Molitor, 25. Line drive, base hit. So we're going to look to the bullpen now, because he just doesn't have it. He just doesn't have it. Single to center for Molitor, leading it off. And in this game, let's take a quick peek here. Going to take a quick look. Now, I remember McClure came in here and he pitched, Bob McClure. So we're going to look at McClure. Wait, that was with the Brewers. So we need to look at who pitched for, we got Stewart. Who else we got? We got Tippy Martinez, Stewart. We don't have the extra players, so we're very limited in what we have here available to us. So I'm not worried about that really too much. I don't expect to, need all that many players. I'm looking quickly on my left. I have a 17-inch screen, which I'm pulling up. The 1982 Baltimore schedule. I was looking at it on my phone before, but now my phone I'm using it to record. So I'm going to look at that real quick. Actually, I like to... All right. Let's look at the last game here. Sunday, October 3rd, box score. Let's see who quickly came in for... Now this game was won by the Brewers 10-2. And for the Orioles, it was... Oh, there he is. For the Orioles, it was Tippy Martinez. So we're going to bring in Tippy Martinez. And Tippy Martinez went 2 2/3 of an inning. So So Palmer's out. Tippy Martinez is in. Now Martinez is a BX. So he has a good strikeout, but not very good control. So Tippy Martinez is in there, and usually I grab one of these and I make them a color. That's how I do this, make them orange. And it's going to be, he's going to face Robin Yount, who's doubled and grounded to third base. It's a 34, that's a fly ball, center field. Backtracking is Bumbry, and he makes the catch for out number 1. Cecil Cooper. Cooper is 2 for 2. He's homered and singled. It's a 34. That's lifted to center, shallow center this time. In comes Bumbry. Makes the one-handed grab. 2 away. It's a 65. That's popped up. That's going to be the catcher. Throws his mask away. And Dempsey under it and makes the catch. That retires the side. So after 3.5, it's 6-3 Brewers. Leading it off is going to be John Lowenstein. Lowenstein hit into a force out the first inning. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a ground ball, second base. Wait, let me double check that. It's a 12, I believe. Oh no, it's a 25. Oh, wait. We rolled a 12. Yeah, it's a 25. 25 under an A. Yeah, ground ball, second base. That's 4-3. Romero to Cooper. Jim Dwyer, he homered. He's 1 for 1. It's going to be a 15 against an 8. That's going to be a fly ball, center field. 2 out. That's against a B pitcher, so that's going to be an out. And Ripken homered. He's going to swing through a high fastball this time, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down. That is strikeout number 1 for Sutton. Top of the 5th, Ben Oglivie leading it off. He's going to go at least 3. Tippy Martinez in there for the Orioles. It's 6-3 Brewers. 4-2. 42 is a strikeout. So Oglivie goes after the high cheese. 1 out now, and it's Gorman Thomas. Gorman Thomas is homered. 61. It's a 40. It's going to be a ball or a foul or something like that. 61 again, same thing. And I'll double check that. It's a B. 40 is a foul ball or a W, but we don't have any W's here. It would be a walk against a W. That's a 23. It's be a grounder to second. Second baseman Dower. Over to Murray, 2 away. And it's Howell now. Get that light. Help me a little bit. There you go. It's a 43. And it's a strikeout. 29 with an X. That's 3 up, 3 down. And that's 2 strikeouts for Tippy Martinez. We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. It's 6-3 Brewers. For the Orioles, it's going to be Dempsey, Dower, and leadoff Bunbury. Here's the pitch to Dempsey, 42. That's a 38. That's a ball. 41. That's a grounder to short. And up with it is Yount. Fires to first. One away. Rich Dower. Dower's a right-hander. It's a 53. 18. It's going to be an E6, I believe. 18. Shortstop is a 9. So that's going to be in the fielding column 1. 18 is still an error. E6. So he boots it. So on at first is Dower. Got average speed. So if we can get something going here for the Orioles. So foul ball. Let's re-roll both of those. See a 63. It's going to be a fly ball center field. 2 away. And now it's Glenn Gulliver. Doesn't have a very good card. 63. That's a 28. Don't know what that's going to be. The runner on first, 28, is a ground ball shortstop. Flips to Molitor covering. And that's a force. 6-4. That retires the side. So after 5 complete, it's 6-3 Brewers. Leading it off now is going to be Moore. I'm going to see if we can get Tippy to go 3 more innings. Like I said, we don't have a whole lot of relief pitchers, so we have to push him just a little bit more than maybe. Although he did go 2.2 innings, so. All right, Charlie Moore, 14, fly ball, left field, skied high. Waiting for it is Lowenstein, 1 away. Now it's Romero, he's 0 for 2. And that's a strikeout. Romero, curveball, got him. Strikeout number 3, out number 2. And Paul Molitor is 2 for 3. 65, that's popped up. It's going to be catcher Dempsey. And that retires the side. After 5.5, 6-3, Brewers. It's going to be the heart of the order for the Orioles coming up. Singleton, Murray, and Lowenstein. See if they can get something going here. 56. That's not going to do it. That's a strikeout. So Singleton is fooled. And he strikes out. Out number 1. Murray. Eddie Murray. 61. It's grounded to short. Yount up with it, fires the first, 2 out. And Lowenstein. And that's going to be a ground ball, second base. 4-3. 3 up, 3 down. Go to top of the 7th, 6-3. Brewers. And Martinez is going to go into the 7th. He's going to go. We're going to push him to 4. Actually, you know what? Let's see who else came in. It was Dennis Martinez. All right. Dennis Martinez came in. Interesting. So we're going to bring in Dennis Martinez in this game. I don't know that there was any relation between those two Martinez. I don't know that there was. El Presidente. So El Presidente is going to come in, and he's going to be blue. Now, El Presidente is a C. El Presidente. Presidente is a C. He's got no other additional letters. He's going to be facing Yount. Top of the 7th. Here goes. 22. It's going to be a ball that's driven down the line, and that's going to roll into the corner. That's going to be a double for Robin Yount. So Yount on with a leadoff double against El Presidente. Oh, Let's do that again. Let's use the 25, an 8 with a runner on second against a C pitcher. Not good, not good. Going to be a single. Runner scores. S out at home. Yount is not an S, so he's going to score. RBI single. 7-3 now. So Cooper, that's Cooper's third RBI of the day. He's 3 for 4. And it's Simmons. And let's just double check Yount is not, yeah, Yount is fast. Okay. All right, here's the pitch to Simmons, 26. That's going to be ground ball, second base. I'm sorry, shortstop, and that's Ripken. Flips to Dower, back to first, 6-4-3, double play, 2 out. And Ben Ogilvy, snake eyes. And that's driven into the gap. 1 hop to the wall, around second. He pulls up. And Ogilvy's with a 2-out double. So that's 3 hits for the Brewers in this inning. And it's going to be Thomas. That's 51. That's a 9. I believe because it's a 9 against a C pitcher, it's going to be an out. And it is. It's a grounder to first. And playing it himself is Murray, 3 unassisted, and that retires the side. But the Brew Crew pick up an extra insurance run with 3 hits. And let's 1 hit there, no runs, no runs, no runs, no runs, no runs, and 1 run. 1 run on 3 hits. So we after 6.5, it's 7-3 Brewers. We're going to see Dwyer, Ripken, and Dempsey here in the bottom of the 7th for the Orioles. Don Sutton on the mound for the Brewers, 23. Grounded to second. Up with it is Romero. 1 away. Next is Ripken. Ripken is 1 for 2. He homered and struck out. That's a 55. It's going to be a fly ball center field. 2 out. Let me just double check against the B. Fly ball got 8s or fly balls to center field against the B. So, and Dempsey, 2 outs. Rick Dempsey. I know him as Rick Dempsey. Played with the Yankees for a while. 14. That's going to be. Let's see what that is. Fielding column 1. 14 is base on balls, unless he's a ZZ, and he isn't. So that's a walk. Dempsey's on at first, and we're going to let Dower bat at this point. 46-27. Remember that Sutton is a Y. 27 may be a strikeout, and it's not for a Y. It's for ground ball to third. He's going to go at the short distance to second for the force out, and that retires the side. And we didn't fill these in. 0-0. Wow, Don Sutton is dealing. Yep. He's got all donuts here from the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. So it hasn't allowed a hit in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 batters. Hasn't allowed a hit in 20 batters. So the Orioles are in big trouble unless they get going here. We go to the top of the 8th. It's going to be Howell leading it off against El Presidente. It's 7-3 Brewers. The Orioles have to win this game, and that's going to be 12 is 25. It's a ground to second. Charlie Moore now. Charlie Moore is 1 for 3. It's a 14. It's a fly to left. 2 out. And it's Romero. 2 out, top of the 8th, 7-3. Brewers, 42. That's a strikeout. So Presidente gets his first strikeout. And after 7.5, 7-3 Brewers. Now it's going to be Bunbury leading it off. Bunbury, Gulliver, and Singleton against Sutton. Now Sutton's gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he goes to an A. He becomes an A. You go 5 scoreless innings, you become you go up 1 grade. So he's an A. So the Orioles are in big trouble. 52. That's a 27. That's a ground ball. Third base fires the first. Gets Bunbury by half a step. 1 out, bottom of the 8th. Fly ball, right field. Right there is Moore. 2 out. And now it's Kenny Singleton. Singleton homered in the first inning, but he's 1 for 3. Nothing since then. It's a ground ball shortstop. Yount scoops it, fires the first, retires the side. 3 up, 3 down. Go to top of the 9th. So after 8 innings of play, it's 7-3 Brewers. In our APBA game here, using APBA Basic, it's going to be Molitor, Yount, and Cooper against El Presidente, who's going to be going 3 innings here, if possible. 56. It's a pop-up shortstop. 1 away. Molitor pops up to the left side, and Cal Ripken, gets the out. And that's going to be a base on balls there. Base 14, a 64 on Yount's card is a walk. And it's Cooper. Cooper 63. That's going to be a fly ball. Deep center field. Back goes the center fielder. Bunbury to the track. Makes the catch. Back to first is Yount. 2 out now. Top of the 9th. 7-3. Brewers. Simmons. Ted Simmons 55. That's going to be a single. And hustling to third is Yount. And now it's Ben Ogilvy. 2 out, first and third. Definitely don't want anybody else scoring here. The pitch from El Presidente, snake eyes. That's a 5. Now with first and third, I don't know what that becomes. I got to look. First and third, a 5 against a C pitcher is a home run. Holy moly! First and third, home run. That's a deep drive. Ogilvy's a lefty, a deep drive to right field. Back goes the right fielder Dwyer to the track, to the wall. It's out of here. 3-run shot. 10-3. 1, 2, 3. 3 little circles there. And it's a 10-3 ball game now. In reality, I believe the Brewers actually scored 10 runs. So this is where, art imitates life, I guess, or, yeah. Orman Thomas. So this game seems to be out of reach already. 16, that's a ground that is short. Ripken fires the first, and that's out number 3. But not before the 3-run homer seemingly puts this game out of reach on 2 hits, 3 runs. And we go to the bottom of the 9th, last licks for the Baltimore Orioles. Wow, I got a lot of damage on my hands. Holy moly. Oh, the pen is crap. I'm glad I noticed that. The ink, look at that, all over my hands. But I saved it before. I have cards all over here. I'm glad it didn't damage any of the cards. Lucky I have a lot of cards in protection here, in sleeves. Okay. But it may have been. Anyway, all right. Murray. Eddie Murray. Eddie Murray is 1 for 3. Sutton going for a complete game. He's an A. It's a 51. That's going to be an out. Against an A pitcher for sure. It's a pop-up. Third base. one away. John Lowenstein, 46. That's a strikeout. Strikeout number 1, 2, 3 on the day. Out number 2. So the Orioles are 1 out away from being eliminated. They needed to win this game to tie Milwaukee in 1982. This was a game played October 3rd, 1982, between the Milwaukee Brewers and the Baltimore Orioles. And actually, they were tied. Oh, no. I can't remember exactly. Oh, that's right. Okay. I don't know. I don't know totally the story, but I know that they had to win the whole series to be able to force a one-game playoff. So I don't remember if they were tied at this point, and then by losing this game, then they ended up being 1 game out. It may have been that. So anyway, we're in the bottom of the 9th, 2 outs. Jim Dwyer steps in the box. Sutton looks in for the sign. The pitch, 41, grounder to short. This is going to be it. Robin Yount fires the first, and that's all she wrote. So Sutton gets the win. Palmer gets the loss. The Brewers move on to the playoffs. 9 innings. 1, 2, 3, 4. Had a rough start, but after that, he pitched a 4-hitter. Allowed 3 runs, 3 earned, 2 home runs. He walked. Sutton we're talking about here. He walked 1, struck out 3. Palmer had a rough time. Yeah, he went 3 innings. Got the big loss. Went 3 innings, gave up 1, 2, well, I can count them here. 7 hits, 8 hits actually. Runs, 6 runs, all earned. He walked 1, struck out 1 there, 2, and gave up 1, 2 home runs. And that's all the stats I'm doing for this. But the big day by Cecil Cooper, man. Put a little star next to his name. Cecil Cooper drove in a run here with a single, had 3 hits, and here another 2-run home run. 3-run shot later by Ogilvy. Ogilvy had 2 hits. He had a double and a 3-run homer. That was another big day. So between Cooper and Ogilvy, they had the biggest days. And that's all she wrote. APBA Basic. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Take care. See you soon.